Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. If your Halloween was spooky enough, onward we go. I'm in Yonkers right now. Hopefully this live stream keeps the connection properly going, because I know I'm cruising through some dead zones right here. We'll see if we can get past them. Otherwise, resiliency is extremely important. Not to stop. You can reset, but it's important not to stop. So, give you some examples. And since this is a Yonkers edition, right? Let's cruise throughout Yonkers. Let me just set this. There we go. Hopefully this sets properly and is not causing any issues. Look at that sky, very nice. Okay. So it's better this way anyways, at least for right now, because it's not really rush hour, but there's traffic out here. To look down at the phone, even though it's hands-free, is a bit challenging when it's not like twilight hours and it's dead out here, so it's a little bit more challenging when there's a lot more traffic out here. So you have to be a lot more cautious on the road. But anyways, what I was saying was, when it comes to resetting and not stopping, hey, what's up, Ed? Resilience is important. As usual, I'll give, Joey, what's up? What's going on? I'll give a couple of examples. Now, recently, I pulled my back, right? Hey, I'm all right, Ed. I'm doing well. I'm out here in Yonkers, New York, Westchester County. Just cruising. Hopefully the connection is fine. I hope you're doing well. Hope your Halloween was okay and spooky. And yeah, I'm just talking about resilience right now and how important it is not to quit, not to stop. Yeah, I love NY as well. No matter where I am, where I go, New York always has love, for sure. And, whenever you get an injury or any type of a setback, of course it sucks, but the value is not stopping, right? So I tend to be very cautious, but I move around the injury. So if we're talking about a physical injury like I just recently had, where I pulled my back, and it wasn't even like, it's one of those things like, if you're working out consistently and you're well conditioned, chances are you mitigate injuries because you're well conditioned. So now you don't run the risk of getting injured as easily. At the same time, if you're not working out, right? Of course there's in-betweens here, but I'm just saying in general, if you're not working out, then you're kind of like not really doing much to get injured neither. But if you're conditioned, there's this like little period of time where, especially when you start out, it's like, of course you're going to go through soreness in the beginning, But with me, I I find I the likelihood of me getting injured because my body's going through changes. What's up, Mohammed? Is like I tend to get injured more easily for whatever reason until I get conditioned. Go ahead, bro. Okay. Yeah. So until I get conditioned, then it's like I'm good. You know, like I said, once you're conditioned, it's almost like your body is like then like you're in the groove. So now you don't have to worry as much. Unfortunately, I just started resistance again, right? Because I felt like it was missing from my life. So I had to get back into resistance training, even though I was doing calisthenics, I was doing my cardio, eating right, getting proper rest, etc., etc., etc. Wisconsin. Is it downtown Wisconsin Dells? I'm not sure where Wisconsin Dells is, Scotty. This is Yonkers, New York, in Westchester County. I'm not sure where Wisconsin Dells is, but yeah, I'm in Yonkers right now. So, you know, I tend to not get injured when I'm doing exercises. I tend to get injured in the weirdest ways. Like when I go to sleep, I'll sleep incorrectly and I'll get injured. Like I'll pull my neck or my back or my shoulder. Something goes out of whack, and it generally tends to happen right after I begin undergoing changes from something my body hasn't done in a while. For example, training with weights. So this is what happened recently. I just started my first week. Oh, uh, yeah, I'm not sure where Wisconsin Dells is. Like, if you tell me what state, is that in Wisconsin? Because I'm in New York. I'm in Yonkers, New York. So I'm not exactly sure. Nah, sorry, bro. But appreciate you checking in, regardless. I'm just not familiar. And, you know, I was bending, I think I was bending over to tie my shoelace. It was something ridiculous like that, you know? And then I pulled my back. It was one of those, like you felt it. Like, you know, you feel like the lightning bolts go right through your back, and it's like, oh, it's like one of those. Like, you know this is going to hurt. Tomorrow when you wake up, you know you're going to go through, you're going to feel it, right? It's one of those. So, of course, that's exactly what happened. Woke up the next morning, boom, I was twisted, you know? And it lasted, I still have it. It's like, it's almost completely healed. It's been several days now, but I'm pretty good now, you know? So the point is, when that happened, I still, like, even that same day and the next day, as you can see in this channel, because I was talking about it, but I was still working out, you know? And that's the point. Resilience. It's not stupidity, because I was clearly very cautious. You know, I was very careful, and I was making sure I went around the injury, right? So I kept on going. I went around the injury. I didn't stop, but I had to reset, because it's like, okay, now I have to heal from the injury, but I'm not going to stop. Another example is, so now I'm about to go to the gym. Point being, I didn't stop, kept going, reset, and now I'm going to go even harder. But I still have to be careful, because I have a little bit of that healing process still left while I'm kind of getting myself prepared to continue undergoing conditioning, right? Because that's what's happening right now. I just started. It's only been like, you know, I'm on my like first week of resistance, consistently anyways. So the second example is, so for a few months, I was outputting music on this channel routinely, like every 2 weeks for the most part, right? Then what happened was I got a new phone, right? I just upgraded my phone. Now, one of the things I do is like I stopped writing lyrics a long time ago. And now what I tend to do is I come out with lyrics like right here. Like while I'm driving, I'll be multitasking and I'll come out with content, right, in my head. And sometimes I'll go like 2, 4, 6, maybe even upwards of 8 bars, right? 8 bars is like a half a verse. It's the equivalent of like a chorus. It's like a hook. If you if you if you don't repeat a hook and it's just a hook before repeated, that's 8 bars or the equivalent of half a verse, right? So sometimes I'll go as much as 8, maybe even more than 8 bars. And then what I do is I'll record it to myself, right? So whereas before, I was old school, I'd marble notebook, loose leaf, wherever I could jot it, I would jot it. But now I memorize it. And then so I don't lose it because I'm multitasking, I'll record it to myself, right? All right. So where I was recording it was in my phone where I tend to always record it, right? Unfortunately, so the next track I was working on, which is called Diamond, I haven't laid down the vocals yet. I had, in the same place where I always record it, I had like almost the entirety of the track done, right? When I got the new phone, that totally got erased. Like I couldn't go back into it. I was tight because not only did I wasn't able to access the track, but like everything else that was there as well that I like to reference. So now I'm upset because I can't access anything, right? So what did I do? I didn't stop. This has happened to me a few times before. So because I couldn't access the track, I did my best to remember it, right? Because I've done this a few times before. And what ended up happening was I did remember like more than half of it, right? Because it was a 3-verse track with hooks, right? So I was on the 3rd verse. So I would say I remembered like maybe close to 3/4 of it. And then the rest of it I had to just, by the way, I'm in downtown Yonkers right now, South Broadway. So the rest of it I had to improvise. And I had to just, come out with the rest. Long story short, I completed it. I'm past having a new phone now. Everything is good. And you don't just have to change your phone number for it to be a headache, to be honest with you, when you get a new phone. When you get a new phone, they do not make it easy, especially with financial institutions like banks, anything related to money, right? It's like they make it so challenging. I understand it's security or whatever, but it's so for as user-friendly as they make Apple products, Apple phones, etc., they make it so challenging, But it is what it is. I'm past that, got it all done, and done with the track. And as a result, not only did I finish the track, but I ordered a new piece for my vocal chain, which I'm excited about because for whatever reason, I was talking to my partner about this, I couldn't I couldn't like ever put two and two together to think like this should be a part of my vocal chain, because I always thought like this is something that's a plugin, but I never actually thought this is something that could be an analog piece of equipment, like an analog hardware piece of equipment, as opposed to a digital plugin. So that's what ended up happening as a result. So resilience, right? You don't stop despite that. These are two examples of setbacks that happen. And okay, go ahead. So you don't stop, you keep going, and if anything, you come back even stronger. You know, you come back with a vengeance, because that time away, it should teach you things. It's like, okay, what did you learn here? What did you get out of this? And what I fortunately was able to do in this case was I actually was able to apply getting a de-esser. Not a plugin, but an actual hardware piece of equipment, an outboard analog de-esser. And I never thought like a de-esser would be something good to add to a vocal chain. For whatever reason, it slipped my mind all these years. And now I got the de-esser. Like I said, I'm excited because it's like, wow, this is going to be great. You know, this is going to be awesome. Because it's like, I get to put something into the vocal chain that I never thought about putting into the vocal chain before. And it's actually something that, you know, I have a trained ear. So when I've thought about de-essing, like I said, I've always thought about it from a digital standpoint, but I never thought about it from an analog outboard standpoint or perspective. And that's why I'm excited, because it's like, I'm more of an outboard hardware person as far as like the old school, the way I like to hear things, as opposed to just digital plugins type of person, as far as how I like to hear things. So that's what happened as a result of me going through these setbacks, the injury and the new phone. So the whole point is you reset, but you don't stop, right? That's how you display resilience. And that's what the live stream is about today. You know, I wanted to make sure I put that out there, because life has a way of continually throwing curveballs, obstacles, hurdles, challenges at us routinely. So it's like, what do you do as a result? Like, you can't stop these things from happening. They're gonna happen no matter what. But what do you do as a result of when these things hit you? You know, how do you bounce back? How do you get back up? What do you do as a result? I give you a couple of examples, and I let you know what I did and how I responded and continue to respond. So that's really it for the live today. You know, I understand this is, you know, around that time where like people don't really check in, but I do appreciate whoever did check in. And it's interesting because it's like over here Eastern time in Yonkers, New York, it's almost 4:30 p.m. right? But at 4:30 a.m., if I was to do the same live at 4:30 a.m., it'd be very interesting how like those are like peak hours for whatever reason, you know. And it's not just people from, you know, around the world. It's like actually people from out here, you know, even on in the Northeast. So I guess it's one of those things. But yeah, that's really it. Just wanted to check in, talk about resilience, resetting, not quitting, not stopping, and hope everyone has a good, strong, productive, and positive day. And until next time, you already know.